Welcome to Silver Bar Stacker, folks. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying their Sunday. That's right, folks. Today is Sunday, and I have a very important topic to discuss. Today, I want to talk a little bit about whether or not you can time the market with your vintage silver purchases. Now, opinions definitely differ when it comes down to stacking silver and gold and whether or not you can sort of time the market. And when I say time the market, I mean making your purchases at a time that would be opportune for you. So based off of the price, really. Sort of having foresight to think of, hey, when is the price going to be low? When the price is low, buying more, right? And when the price is high, maybe holding off on your purchases a little bit. So that would be sort of technical analysis. Assessing the market based off of past historical trends and sort of estimating where you think the price is going to go. And so many individuals, I wouldn't say many individuals, but there are some individuals out there who try to time the market. Okay. Now, a vast majority of individuals are a little bit more conservative, and I would say that they're traditional stackers, and I would say that, I wouldn't say that they all are very, very conservative and very, very rigid with their stacking strategy, but many individuals who are very disciplined with their stacking strategy, they take a dollar cost averaging approach. Now, dollar cost averaging approach is a very conservative approach because it's less risk. You're kind of spreading out your purchases among many, many days, and so sometimes you're buying when the price is low, sometimes you're buying when the price is high, sometimes you're buying when the price is in the middle, and in the end, generally speaking, you're buying at a reasonable price. You're probably not going to be buying at a very, very high price. You're probably not going to be buying at a very, very low price like you may when you're trying to time the market, either successfully or unsuccessfully. Okay, so generally speaking, I would say personally from my experience that dollar cost averaging is probably a safer and better strategy for a vast majority of individuals, especially if you're just stacking sort of generic bars and rounds and not really into collectible stuff. Then certainly, dollar cost averaging is quite a nice strategy. However, there are instances where you can seize opportunities, in my opinion, and if you are really attuned with the market, you're paying attention to the market, you're very familiar with what the market value for certain items are at any particular time, and that kind of comes with experience as well. You're sort of have sort of just a spidey sense that, hey, maybe I should go a little heavier on this purchase. Well, that those opportunities do pop up. And now I'm not saying that you'll always make the correct decision, but sometimes maybe your gut tells you something, and a lot of times your gut is right? And so when it comes down to the pricing of items, they can be all over the place, right? One big important thing to note when you're buying silver and gold is you got to price shop. There's many stores out there that are selling things. Like, we sell stuff. We're not always the cheapest price. A lot of times we are the cheapest price, though. A lot of times for the products we sell, we ensure that we are the cheapest price online because we want to offer the best price possible. But sometimes our prices aren't the best, right? Sometimes you might be able to get lucky. Sometimes you might have a store out there who's not specializing in vintage and they're treating it like garbage. They're not sifting through the stuff and they're just selling it at melt. And I would say a vast majority of bullion stores sort of operate that way. All right, so let's use JM Bullion as an example. I recently made a social media post about an Eagle Inglehard 10-ounce bar that they had on sale. Now, when they first hit the market, or at least when I noticed that they first hit the market on JM Bullion, I noticed that they had them up for a very, very competitive price. And in fact, I was really thinking very hard, should I buy some? Because this is an extremely good price, probably the cheapest I've ever been able to buy these bars for, and it's a very, very competitive price. And I think those stores like JM Bullion, they operate it in a way that they treat everything by default like generic bullion, and then maybe they might go through a manual review and then accordingly mark things up. I'm not exactly sure how their pricing works, but I can say for sure that when these first hit the market, or when I noticed them first hit the market on JM Bullion, they were up for only $285. Now, that to me, that's a very, very good price. And I was thinking maybe I should stock up for the store, in fact, because it would be nice to always have these available. Now, I do always have these available on the store, but my cost is not $285. I'm never going to be able to offer these for $285. That's a crazy good price. And so I was thinking to myself, I should really stock up. And I hesitated. I did not stock up. And within not 24 hours later, 19 of them had sold, and the price was no longer $285. It had been jacked up 55%, a 55% increase in price on this same bar. It had been increased to $441. At $441, I was no longer a buyer, because then I'm going to have to sell these for $50+ on the website, $500 plus on the website, which I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to successfully do. In fact, I know I'm not going to be able to do that. That's a very, very high price, honestly, $441, okay, for an Eagle bar. If you know you're getting an Eagle bar and you're paying $441, it's very high. It's a very high price. Now, $285 was a very good price, and accordingly, 19 people snatched them up. Right, and I made that social media post that, hey, less than 24 hours later, now the price has been moved up 55% to $441. Okay, now what is crazy to me is that I was just browsing yesterday, and now we're 5 days later. We're all in the same week, and now the price is $345 for the same item. Okay, so we have moved from $285 to $441 and now to $345. Now, at any point during this week, if you had purchased these Engelhard 10-ounce Eagle bars and you timed the market, well, you could have been very, very smart, or you could have been very, very stupid, right? Maybe not stupid, but you may have been very much regretting your purchase, right? If you were the person who swept up all 19 of them at $285, you must be very, very happy right now. You must be very happy that you did that. And then those individuals who purchased them at $441, if there were any, actually I think they didn't sell a single unit at $441, right? It still shows 19 sold. So over the past 4 or 5 days, JM Bullion has sold 0 Engelhard Eagle bars for the $441 price that they were looking for. But they managed to sell 19 of them at the $285 price. Now they have them listed at $345, and it's still sitting at 19 sold, and we'll see. We'll see if that drastic price decrease has now resulted in enough FOMO for them to move a few more units. But let me just tell you that this week, this particular item, that particular store, that is a very distinct example of where you could have timed the market for better or for worse. Now, let me give you another example. We had an impromptu Whatnot auction event here on Black Friday just 2 days ago. I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't post it until literally 5 minutes before we went live, and so many individuals didn't even get a notification about our Black Friday live stream auction event until literally the following day. So what ended up happening though is, if you were present there, you knew what happened. What happened is that we ended up having a crazy event. Now, I had a mystery event, which basically means that I had an auction event where we had I had 100 items in the prize pool. Okay, so there were things ranging from like Engelhard Prospector rounds to copper bars to Engelhard bars to fractional pieces. We had everything like this in the prize pool. There were only a few chances, honestly, to win some vintage rounds and bars and some like more highly collectible fractional pieces and stuff like that. But it was a fun event nonetheless. And what ended up happening is, because the prize pool was 100 items, but I would say a vast majority of the items were things like copper bars and fractional silver. And so there's a very high likelihood that you would end up with some nice premium copper or some nice fractional silver, and a very, very low chance that you would end up with some of the vintage silver. Okay, like less than a 5% chance that you would end up with the vintage silver. So what ended up happening is that each item that we auctioned off, it was an average cost of about $15, and the floor price was literally $10. So the floor price of the items was $10, meaning this was the cheapest item that was in the prize pool. This was the worst thing that you could possibly get. It was either this or this is a 2-ounce copper bar, but we had 1-ounce copper bars in the prize pool as well. And the two cheapest items, the floor price was $10. So the cheapest items that we had in there that were a $10 value were a 1-ounce copper bar or 5 grams of pure silver. That was the worst case scenario. Okay, so you couldn't get something worse than that. Let's just put it that way. So the worst thing that you could end up with if you bid on the auction, on the mystery auction, was a $10 item. Now, everybody on Whatnot is a cheapskate, actually. Okay, everybody wants a deal, rightfully so. Who doesn't want a deal? And so people are very, very, very conscious about how much they spend on that store. And so despite the fact that I had $50 items in the prize pool, and I had $35 items in the prize pool, and I had $15 items in the prize pool, such as these, and despite the fact that the cheapest item in the prize pool was $10 and you couldn't get anything less than $10 value, not a single one of the 100 items that I auctioned off got bid up past $10 because I had no buyers there. It was Black Friday. Whatnot was running a promotion where they weren't taking any commission. So there were very, very many sellers that were selling silver and gold and precious metals on the Whatnot platform. And actually, one of my viewers who was tuned into my auction, he informed me that, hey, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but there are 60 sellers right now who are live, who are selling, who are competing against you selling. And so when I was doing my auction, I literally had only a few people tuned in during the entire time. And those individuals, such as, like, for example, Don't Ask had managed to luckily randomly be there when I had announced the auction, and he tuned in. He tunes in every auction, and he cleans up. He was getting literally 1 ounce, 2 ounce copper bars for $1. He ended up, I don't know if he won the EMC logo bar, if he won a prospect round, but somebody won an EMC logo bar for $11. That's just ridiculous. We sell these for $50 right now on our website. If you want this exact EMC bar, we sell it for $50, and honestly, $50 is a competitive price. I mean, there's not many people who will sell you an EMC bar for $50. And in fact, if you're just looking for a random design e-logo bar on the silverbarstacker.com website, we sell random design e-logo bars right now for, I believe, $37, which I don't think you're going to be able to find that pricing really anywhere. So that's the thing, is that we always have very, very nice pricing available on vintage, especially the more common vintage. If it's something that we've got many duplicates of, we'll offer this up at a very nice price. If it's something that we got many duplicates of, we'll offer it at a very nice price. You can get these right now for $35 on the site. You can get these for $50 on the site. You can get these 1 gram Geiger discontinued fracks for $15 on the site. Those are very competitive prices, actually. You can buy these 1 gram bars for very cheap on our website, shipping included. Okay, so that's the thing. If you time the market, like, I wouldn't say that we time the market in the sense that we overpay for these, but we certainly do not mind paying what we believe the fair market value is of these, and we are stocking these for the future because we feel that these are not going to be as easily available in the future as they are now. And so when we have an opportunity to buy these at a fair price, we do buy them at a fair price. And a lot of individuals are frightened by the premium. They're not ready to pay that premium yet. And then later, when the premium is double, maybe they will be ready to pay the premium, and that just is not logical, right? So in my opinion, especially when it comes down to collectible stuff, I wouldn't say it's necessarily about timing the market, though timing the market can be very beneficial when it comes down to collectible stuff. It can be very, very beneficial to be buying items before there are many, many individuals gunning after them, because that will significantly, potentially, reduce your cost average on that particular item. So I think it is definitely possible and beneficial to time the market, or kind of just be patient with your buys when it comes to especially collectible stuff. And when then there are opportunities there that are to be seized, that could be seized, and you're able to seize them, then I think that definitely trying to take advantage of those situations cannot hurt. But don't believe, in my opinion, that you can simply time the market, because I don't think that is something that is practical, right? It's not practical to do that all the time. If you have an opportunity, seize it, but I would say, all in all, dollar cost averaging is probably the safer strategy. And that's all I wanted to talk about today. Now, as always, opportunities should be seized, and as always, we've got another Whatnot auction event happening. I think what I'm going to be doing is, we had a 100 item Black Friday auction event I think I'm basically just going to pare that down and maybe do just like a $25 or $50 item auction event. And so if you want to stop by and see what all the mystery event stuff is all about, if you want to do kind of a non-traditional auction format, feel free to join us on whatnot.com/user/silverbar stacker, and we can have some fun. I'd love to see you all there. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Sunday. Cheers.